positive energy all the time. Good to see everyone tonight. I am representing Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to everybody over on Kick, everybody on Twitch, all my people on YouTube, and all my people on Facebook. I am representing Chicago, Illinois. We have Greensboro, North Carolina in the building with my good brother Space Time. We have XYZ in the building. And we are doing our thing tonight. We have the beautiful Mrs. Moore here, representing Atlanta, Georgia. We have Quaylen here, representing Indianapolis, Indiana. And tonight, we're letting the chat go. I'm letting them go. Mod, you got a night off. You don't have to ban anybody. You don't have to correct anybody. If they go too far, I'll delete them. But other than that, if they don't get too belligerent, I'm letting everybody go. I'll make that decision tonight so you all could just take it easy. To all my great mods. Yeah, I let them go. People are very emotional over politics. I'm going to talk about that. I've been having people trying to draw me into conversations about politics. I've been avoiding it. I don't see where a lot of back and forth will amount to anything. So I don't see where people on social media going back and forth. I don't see that doing anything of any importance to me. Doesn't seem to be anything that is beneficial. So I haven't been really dealing with that. I think it's a little ridiculous. I think politics in America in 2025 is a little bit of a disgrace. Anytime the people vote people in there and they don't work together and one party shuts the other party off and the two parties can't come to no type of agreement and the two parties are both extremes, you know, from one extreme to another. And then you have social media, which fans the flames, and then the public becomes two extremes, riling each other up. It's ridiculous. We're going to talk about it. I'm watching these people rile each other up, and I'm watching Mother Nature turn up, and I'm saying, I don't know why they're not focusing on Mother Nature. I don't know why the American citizens aren't talking as one unit about preparing for natural disasters. I guess they got to wait until their homes are blown down and they're all underwater before they, before they really start dealing with the issue. I guess a tornado's got to hit the White House, which is very possible that the White House end up being destroyed from a natural disaster. And I just can't understand, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's crazy. Nobody's talking about the climate and the natural disasters. And the ones that are talking about it is a disgrace because they are doing conspiracies. It's man-made. It's a man-made tornado. It's like no responsibility that you're destroying the planet. You don't believe you're destroying the planet. You don't believe you're accidentally destroying the planet. You believe you're destroying it on purpose. No, Pharaoh, is not being destroyed because we're not managing it. It's being destroyed because we're using our machines to destroy it. It's like, okay, all right, if that makes sense. Okay. No. These natural disasters aren't natural disasters. They're we making disasters. The government is making disasters. And it won't be till the government get destroyed in the disaster. Then I'll be like, well, I guess the government ain't making this. It have to be a bunch of governmental buildings and military get destroyed in natural disaster. I'd be like, well, I guess it wasn't the government after all. Unbelievable. That's why I just come over here and talk where I can say what I want to say. I could block or delete anybody that wants to argue. Because if I wanted to argue, I could just go on Instagram or Facebook if I wanted to argue. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to argue with you. I don't want your critique on what I think. And you ain't got to worry about my critique about what you think. Because I'm not coming on your social media looking over what you think to tell you you're wrong, like a lot of weirdos are doing, coming on other people's social media. You are wrong. It's like, I guess, says you. Oh yeah, you're the expert. What's your name again? Odele Bongo, or your name is like Peter Rabbit. Yeah. I'll be having people come over here, Pooh Butt one with all the answers. Your name's Pooh Butt. Like they be coming over here like with weird names, like it's not even a real person, but they'd be the smartest, unidentified, goofy objects ever. You heard of UFOs? We got UGOs, unidentified. We got UGPs, unidentified goofy people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to talk about it today just for the hell of it. It's crazy. Before I even got over here, somebody was mad. They're like, that's because you're nothing. Because they said I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I came over. That's because you're nothing. Oh, wow. That's interesting. That's deep. We're going to talk about it. Yeah, I be on the phone with friends. They ask me, "Good to see you, Ivy Dreams." Be on the phone with friends, and they be asking me what I think about Trump. I don't really think about Trump in my day to day. In my day to day life, I don't really think about Trump. I don't really pay that a lot of Trump attention. You know what I'm saying? I don't. You know, some of this AI is not that intelligent. I swear to God. I know it's supposed to be smart, but it don't seem smart. Sometimes I have to tell AI what to do a lot. So what are you all doing? Did you shout out where you from? Shout out where you from. Let's give these cities some respect. The beautiful West V is here. Hi. Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know. Are you all feeling uh a little overwhelmed with the political stuff? Because I am. That's why I don't look at it. Because I just can't. It's just too much for me. It really is. I watched Cleveland, Ohio is in the building. I watched Roland Martin. Boy, he was doing a hissy. He was tripping. He was saying all this stuff about the Republicans ain't doing nothing. And all this stuff about the Republicans are trying to replace the Democrats. I'm trying to figure out what did the Democrats do that's worked anything. I mean, neither party is doing anything. Neither party is doing anything. So I'm a little confused. I don't see where any party have done much. To me. We're going to wait till some people get in here and get started. I'm over here trying to get AI to follow directions. I gotta say, please do this just like this. You consider yourself independent. I heard that right. I haven't voted enough to be to be a party, because I haven't voted that much. You know, I'm 67, and I haven't voted that much. I haven't voted that much. In my lifetime, you know? So I'm not really I'm not really what you would call politically I haven't been politically involved that much over the years. So I really don't know what's going on. I'm not really, you know, I'm not really that much involved in the politics like that. Because I haven't really voted that much. I really haven't paid that much attention to it. So I really don't know what's going on as far as year after year after year. I never really got involved. I always thought that politics were didn't represent a multicultural country. I always thought that the politics was always just one sided for one group of people. So I haven't paid a lot of attention too much. So, you know, it's a little weird for me. People have been following it and tripping for a long time. Me, I've only voted 4 times. I'm 67. You know what I'm saying? I only voted for a president twice. So now I voted 6 times. I voted for a president twice. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. So I voted 5 times. I've only voted 5 times. You know? Yeah, I've only voted 5 times. So I haven't really. Good to see you, G-Rod. Yeah, I only voted 5 times, so I haven't really been politically active like that. I'm paying much attention. I never really seen anybody that really represent me. It's always like the majority group in the country get their way, so it just seems like a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? So I never really put a lot of energy in it. No, I didn't delete it. I got to go and edit it down. See anything I said in there is inflammatory, and then it'll be back up. G-Ra. I got to go and look to see what I said because I don't like I don't like I don't like talking and having to control my freedom of speech. Good to see you, Jazzy Joy. I'm a rebel, and I feel like Americans are giving away their rights, basically. So I feel like Americans are giving away all their rights. I feel like content creators are letting advertisers come into the YouTube space and take away your freedom of speech. I think they want to be able to sell you things and then tell you how to act when you're the one buying their products. And so they don't monetize. They don't really, what I want to say, pay attention to you or watch you when it comes to you spending money with them. But when it comes to you doing your thing, then they want to, tell you what to say, how you could say it. And, that's a steep slope, I should say, when you start compromising. So they're kind of like, well, Pharaoh, if you want to monetize, you can't say this and you can't say that. Yeah, we have to say unalive, but the news could say the right word. You know, and these words are a problem. It's how they're used, but because they got AI watching, AI don't know how you use it. So then you just can't use it at all. See, if it was a human and you used the word for great, they would be able to see if you were just reporting a story or if you were saying that should happen to somebody. But with AI, it can determine if you're telling a story that really happened or if you're saying you would want to do that. So it's just banning the word based on the wrong use of the word and not consider it a more proper use of the word. You know what I'm saying? So, that gets a little crazy. I mean, it's cool. I understand. They got to make money. They got to make money. So I understand that. They have their people they're advertising to. So it makes sense when you're dealing with advertisers. I got to say. But for me, I just don't want to do it. You know, it's just something I don't want to do. But I understand though. I have to make that decision if I want to. I want to curb my free speech for money. Because if I'll do that, what else will I do? You know, and I mean, I lose a lot of money. I'm losing a lot of money for sure. I lost a lot of money over the past year because I don't want to do right. So I lost a lot of money. But I was over here before there was any money involved, and I got a little beef with YouTube because they're bringing in people that are famous and celebrities. They can't do anything on TV anymore. And now they're bringing them into our space and they're getting more attention than us because they're Shannon Sharp and they're Cam Newton and they're Mace and they're, Cameron. But we the ones built it. If it wasn't for us, it wouldn't be nobody over here to watch them. And so now the algorithm is all working in their favor. I think that's fair. But that's another discussion for another day. I don't think they loyal to the people that built this over here. That's what I think. I think YouTube is disloyal, if you ask me. But back to the politics. The politics are a little ridiculous, you know, totally ridiculous, actually, to me, because I don't see where any of these politics are benefiting the people. Is it the advertisers forcing it? It's the advertisers that's got the right to say what they want people to say while they are advertising. So, yes, the advertisers is like, we don't want you to say that while we are advertising our product. But for the public to judge the advertisers based on what we're saying, to me, doesn't make much sense. To me, because the advertisers shouldn't be so. I can see in some cases, if you're just saying a bunch of racist nonsense, yeah, I could see that. But to be that petty when the audience has, if the audience doesn't want to watch me, then it's not going to hurt the advertisers. If the audience is willing to watch me, then the audience is not going to be upset with the advertisers. To me, I don't see why I watch something and I'm going to be upset with the advertisers, especially on YouTube. Because to me, if if you're an advertiser and you don't like what I'm saying, you're kind of taking away your own freedom of speech too. So you're kind of like taking away your own rights. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I think it's dangerous. I think it's dangerous. I think we ain't gonna be able to say nothing soon. But the political system is a little crazy. People are very emotional, have been emotional for the whole period of this whole election thing. Trump, people are just against him. I don't think they're against him for no legitimate reason. Myself, I don't think they're against him for no good reason. Because if he's that bad, why is he president? Make it make some sense. Make your mind up. If he's that bad, why you let him be president? So how you gonna let him be president and now what, he's the devil? Right? Make that make some sense. You let him be president, now he's president, and it is what it is. Now if he don't know what he's doing, then next time pick a better president. I mean, what are we doing? Make it make some sense. Yeah. That's all. And then why would you be all emotional on social media? I don't see it. I don't see any kind of way where it's positive. To me, it looks like American politics is headed to the trash. I think anytime you let one party run the country like that and control like the Supreme Court, the House of Representatives, and the Senate, I think you gave your country away. That's what I think. I think the racism is ridiculous in a country where you're going to need all hands on deck. Doesn't make much sense to me. When I see like white Americans as racist in 2025, they look crazy, look like Flintstones. Like, you still doing that? That's not making much sense. You're going to go in your house and live your life. So, what difference does it make about people outside that's not up in your home? You got a home to go in where you don't have to be around anybody. How is it you don't want anybody in the city or anybody in public? That you want to take your domination, the way you dominate in your home, and you want to make a city or a school or something be like your home. What kind of nutism is that? And white Americans are a little phony. They're kind of phony because the idea that you don't like people coming here when you came here, and this is really not your land, you're no different than the Mexicans or the blacks. As a matter of fact, some blacks were here before you. So for you to come to a land where blacks and red people were already here and then try to act like we're intruding, and you're a European. Yes, you're an American citizen, but you're not an American, you're a European. You're from Europe. How the hell could you talk about who could come to a country that you came to? Now, I could see you regulating it so that it won't be too many people for your services, like your garbage or your Social Security. That makes sense. Regulate it. You can't just have it overran. But for white people to be talking like this is their original land is totally ridiculous. Okay. You're not from here. And the other people came and they're coming, and some people to run across your border, but you actually invaded people and went to war and unalived them and took their land. So I don't see what white Americans can say anything. You got it by force and through giving people chicken pox and blankets with pox on it, and you brought slaves and all of that. You're not a legitimate American, not really. You're not a legitimate American like that. You're an invader. You commit genocide on other people. And so, to me, when you do wrong, you're always scared. So I look at white America as scared of karma. That's what I look like. I think with black people, I think white Americans know they did us wrong and they think we want to get back. That's what I believe. They're scared. They're scared that people would do them like they did people. To me, because there's no way you can hate black people when you was a slave owner. Like, make some sense. There's no way you can talk about your land when you know this not your land. This is your stolen property. But you put a timeline on it, like, no, it's not stolen anymore because that was a long time ago. But yet you came here a long time ago. You still saying it's yours. You came here 400 or 500 years ago. You still saying it's yours. You still saying 500 years ago is valid. But slavery's not valid 400 years ago. Native Americans are not valid 500 or 600 years ago. But you're valid 500 years ago, 600 years ago. So you're picking what's old and valid. Everything else is old except your invasion is not old. Make some sense. Trump is a German or something. in America, but he's not a Native American. And black people built all that stuff in Washington, D.C., where he's had it designed his flag and all of that. You know, it's just like get a little ridiculous. I think white Americans need to let it go and just brush the past off, and let's just live in the future, and let's try to make sure we do right by nature, because nature's going to come through. And then what is all that going to matter when the tornadoes and the hurricanes turn up? What's all that going to matter when the tornadoes and the hurricanes and the floods turn up? What is that going to matter? And I'm not a Democrat or a Republican, and so it's a little weird. They've totally mistaught the public, because who you vote for does not mean you are in that party. Only you can decide if you represent that party. In other words, if I vote for Trump, only I can say if I'm a Republican or not. I might have just voted for him because I thought he was going to bring some money to the country, which is the only reason he's president. He's only the president because Americans thought, because he was this big money guy, that he would bring money to the country, which he's failing. The country's going broker. The Chinese are buying from other people. We're losing billions and billions of dollars with the Chinese getting beef from Australia, getting soybeans from South and Central America. I mean, if Trump got some people that's smart that want to debate me, I would take that debate. Trump is messing up. But I'm still trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that he might got some secret plan. I'm thinking, okay, maybe there's I'm thinking that he might know what he's doing. So I'm still, the jury's still out. Maybe, but it's not looking good, because the Chinese is building like a railroad across South America so they could take the stuff across on the train and get it 10 days quicker than they've been getting it. And they're building bigger ports, and they're doing more business with South America. So there's going to be less money coming to the country. I got friends that work everywhere. I got friends that work in the clothing industry. They're not getting no product, no clothes. They're not getting no new clothes. I'm talking about top of the line designer store outlets. And I got friends losing money because people are coming in looking for stuff that they seen online. They don't have it. Nothing is coming in. The country's going down. The stores is bare. The prices is up. My friend said they spent $87 for like what usually costs her $59. So I buy this all the time. It's $59. It's $87. Facts. Let's take a break and we're going to get into it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know, but the politics ain't politicking. Let's take a break. So yeah, it's all a little crazy, you know. A lot of people, they don't want to talk to me. They say, you know, they don't like my point of view. You know, I got one friend, not too happy with me because I keep blaming the Democrats. He wants to keep blaming by Trump. I keep blaming the Democrats. Like, oh, this is the Democrats' fault. I mean, if you look at it, yeah, Robert. All this is the Democrats' fault. To me, you know, they got nobody to blame but themselves because they ran away all their constituents. They left this guy in there too long. You know, they left this guy. They left this guy in there too long. He should have been like after a year after re-election, they should have made him sit down. Because after 12 months, you could see he couldn't do the job. They left him in there until he got into the debate and looked horrible. He should have been sat down. You know what I'm saying? You're a Republican, okay, and what am I supposed to do with that information? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information. I don't know. I thought you was a troll. Because every time you come over here, you just be trolling. You never really add nothing of any value to the conversation. Never. You never have anything to add that anybody can learn anything from. You know what I'm saying? I'll come back tomorrow, though. You can come back tomorrow. I'll listen to you tomorrow, and then you can come back the next day, and I'll listen to you. Then you can come back the next day, okay? As a matter of fact, I changed my mind. Don't come back. Weirdo. Crazy people. On the internet. This is what I'm talking about. The internet makes people crazy. You know what I'm saying? They try to take out their beliefs or their frustrations on the internet, you know? As a person wants to come and whatever type of political hangups they got, they want to throw them in my lap. Crazy. What a way to live your life. Gotta get their life together. He says he's a Republican. Okay. You don't think there's a third presidential term? You say the Trump 2028. That's funny. That's the SSS slide, Dave. That's crazy as hell. He says he wants Trump to be president again. These people are. That's why I say, see, the politics makes people, it's ruining people. He wants a 85-year-old Trump to be president again. Just a total emotional nonsense. You know what I'm saying? It gets to the point that you're so caught up in the politics that you don't even make sense. You know, just spewing just straight nonsense. Okay. Yeah, just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Just saying anything. No self respect, no type of level of any intelligence to add to the conversation. Just blurting out just anything. Anybody knows Trump's not going to even finish this term. Okay. Trump would be lucky if Trump makes it to Christmas. Some people say he might not make it a couple more weeks. And you got somebody, I tell you, man, if you just read some of the stuff, you'll see why I don't be wanting to talk to these people like that. But I love my audience that's highly intelligent. So I don't mind talking to you all. But the other weirdos, and then you say certain things that prove you don't know anything what's going on, you know? So, like, who's going to listen to you when you have no idea what is even going on? Just blurting out nonsense. And this way, your belief system becomes detrimental to your intelligence. It's not about just that. Trump is deteriorating. Both hands are rotting away. His ankles is big and hanging over his shoes. He's finished. They're piecing him together, but he's gone. They said he had 3 meetings the other day because he forgot. He had the first meeting and forgot he had it. He had a second meeting and forgot he had it. Had a third meeting. Well, somebody said they want him to run in 4.5 years from now. They want him to be the president for 4 years after 4.5 years from now. So they want him to be the president for 7 more years. Hey, who said that? Let me make you famous. Who said that crazy stuff? S. Sly says he wants Trump to be president from 2028. He wants him. He wants him. He wants him to be president. Oh my God! For 7 years, 7 more years. Just saying anything, making himself look just highly unintelligent. Not looking very intelligent at all, and showing that this person has no ability to run anything themselves. Like as Sly, you don't have the ability to run any type of business or any governmental, nothing. You just live off emotions. You be unqualified yourself. You're not rational, but you're saying anything. I don't know what you're talking about. You're bad. What is that? I don't know what you're talking about. You don't apologize to me. Get your shit together. Don't apologize to me. Grow up. Okay? Grow up. Basically. Anytime you like something and then you're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater and just jump. I mean, you're basically proving what we're going through, S. Slide Dave. This is what we're going through. People like that. They're so emotional that they'll just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just a president can do just one thing they like and ruin everything else, and they'll just vote them back in there. The economy is shot. S S S S Live Day is going to be broke soon if we don't get somebody in there to turn the economy around. You're going to lose your jobs. It's probably going to be shortages in the store by Christmas. Prices are going through the roof. Health insurance is going through the roof. And you got people standing up for something that's going to ruin them because the immigration policy is fake because they made all their money off illegal immigrants picking all this fruit. So it's like a slave owner that wants to throw all the slaves out but don't want to do the work itself. And the only thing they got that can save them from throwing out the immigrants, from doing all this cheap labor, because that's the part they leave out. And people are glad they're throwing the immigrants out, but two things can happen. The economy collapse, or, right, they bring in robots. And when they bring in robots to pick the fruit, they're going to bring in robots to do your job, your job, your job, your job, your job. So if you think it's a good thing that they got to find a way to replace the immigrants at a time where they're bringing in robots and they're bringing in electronics, you are cheering for your job to be gone. Because only two things can happen. Well, three things. They can bring the immigrants back to pick the fruit for free, because let's not get it twisted. It was slavery. It was once again Europeans making people work like slaves so they could get rich. So it was bringing in the Hispanics to be slaves, okay, for slave wages. You know, this black slaves, they fed us too. And they gave us rags to wear. They had to feed us and give us somewhere to live so we could pick that cotton for subhuman wages. And what they're paying the Mexicans to pick this fruit for and the South Americans is slave wages, basically. So when somebody say, I like their immigration policy that's been eating strawberries and fruit from the immigrants under slave labor, that's a phony person. Because all your fruit, those immigrants picked it. That's why when Trump threw them out, he had to reverse and say, oh, I'm going to bring some back. Because when they threw them out, the farmers didn't have nobody to do the work. And he had to say, I'm going to bring them back. Because he threw them out before he realized they was his slaves. Keep it $1 billion. He threw out his slaves. Forgot, got so racist, got so full of hate that he threw out the slaves, that he sent ICE to go to all them farms and grab them people. And the farmers like, what the hell are you doing? Who's going to pick this? Because Trump's kids ain't going to pick it. So what I look like, hating immigrants that picked all the fruit I've been eating for slave wages. White Americans ain't going to pick it. They wouldn't even pick their own cotton. They don't do nothing. They get other people to do the hard work. And then they stay at the top with the good jobs. I mean, if we're going to tell this stuff, let's tell it straight down the line. America was built on using people. Okay? You understand? America was built on using people. And that's why white Americans, a lot of politicians don't like black people, because we ain't picking shit for you no more. That's what the beef is about. The beef is about black Americans are looking to do better or do crimes before they do slavery, which blacks won't admit either, why the crime rate is so high. The crime rate with blacks is high because we ain't doing shit for free. And if you don't give blacks jobs, they're going to steal your shit. They're going to snatch and grab your shit because you don't want to pay them. And don't try to make it like these shorties is running in these stores, snatching and grabbing this stuff because they just wow. You don't want to pay people. So they're going to get it how they live. Okay? Where's NBC, ABC, CBS? Get Big Pharaoh on there to tell America the truth. You're starving the people out. You don't have no type of training at the schools. You don't have no electrician, plumbing, and stuff where the kids could go learn it for free. You want to make sure that only people with money can take these skills. So when we go to construction sites where they're working on the roads, all we see is white men for the big construction jobs. You don't see no Mexicans. You see the Mexicans at the buildings, but they not doing the main jobs. The whites is doing the main jobs, and the Mexicans is just carrying stuff. They're not getting the same pay. And the reason crime is up in the black community, because young black people don't want to be your slave. They rather steal. They rather go in your stores and take your stuff. There, I said it. There, I said it. We rather do crimes than to be your slave. Yeah, I said it. Because even the white farmers is your slaves, where they got to pay so much to the agriculture department. They got to do so much shots and stuff to the cattle. They got to put so much money that by the time they get their cattle and sell it, they barely break even. Ask any farmers. They ain't making shit. And then the big industrial farmers that's owned by the government, because like Purdue, they got a man and that's a senator or something. Purdue is some type of politician. So Purdue is going to control all the chickens and all that. And every other farmer there is just going to be a slave. And the big time guys is in the politics. They're going to own everything. But they got slave labor and machine labor, which is worse than slave labor because now you don't have a job at all. I guess I got it. Okay. This is why I'm demonetized. I've been telling the truth. This is why I'm the bad guy of YouTube. Because I'm not supposed to say none of this. Not really. I'm supposed to say something else. And so now I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. If I go vote for somebody, I'm just somebody that voted for that person. If I vote for a president, I'm not voting for the whole party. That don't mean I love the whole party. If I thought I liked Trump and I voted for Trump, that don't mean I like the whole Republican Party. They need to stop doing that nut stuff so our children won't grow up and be stupid. You can vote for who you like. That you cannot give me the party because I vote for one person. This is the new nut stuff they're doing. You vote for one person and they try to lock you into the whole party. So I'm in Chicago. So if I vote for Trump, how am I a Republican? I don't know no Republicans. I don't know who's a Republican in Nevada. I don't know who's a Republican in Mississippi. I don't know who is a Republican. So how can I be a Republican? I don't know them. I might just like what Trump said, or I might just like what Harris said, and I'm a vote. And we're so bad that you feel like if you vote for Trump, you could talk crazy to me for voting for Harris and then say you're an American. You're not an American. You're anti-American. Because in America, you're supposed to vote for either one. You're not supposed to be trolled for who you choose between two candidates. If you got two candidates, how could you tell me I'm not supposed to pick one of them, either one of them? So if you're mad because I picked either one of them, that means you want a dictatorship. You just want one person. You don't want to vote. What I look like, if I want to vote for Harris and you want to vote for Trump, what does that matter? Why should I dislike you? Why should I insult you because you vote for Trump? Why should you insult me because I voted for Harris and call yourself an American? No, you're a scumbag. Because that's not how that was set up. It was set up for you to choose who you want to vote for. So I'm supposed to get ridiculed because I voted for somebody different than you voted for. Okay, so what if we was outside and I did you dirty then? What about that? Why we got to stop with you just talking shit on the internet? What if it was outside? I saw vote for Harris and you called me a name and I did you dirty. That's what we doing? I'm just asking. Do I got a right to jump on you because you're voting for somebody different than I'm going to vote for? Do I got a right to have people beat you up? Or should I respect the fact that's who you're going to vote for? But you get on the internet calling people that don't vote the way you vote names and claim you're an American. No, you're not. You're an idiot. You're a fool. You're a loser. And you're destroying the country, actually. Because it ain't none of my business who you vote for. If you want to vote for Trump, that ain't for me to tell you you shouldn't do it. I'm not your daddy. I had full-grown black men talking crazy to me because of my choice who I was going to vote for. And I'm thinking, something I can't say. I'm wondering if you like that, face-to-face outside, how much you want to put on the line for that? You want to put like everything you stand for on that. You want to put, okay, read between the lines, put your in danger for that. You want to disrespect a man in public over because you like a candidate and get hurt? You want to get hurt over that? Is that serious? Because once you disrespect somebody, it's no longer over politics no more. So if I say I'm voting for this person, you say you vote for that person, and you get disrespectful, we ain't doing politics no more. Now we on something else. Then don't start saying, oh, it ain't that serious. I determine that if you're talking crazy to me. If you talk crazy to me, I determine what's serious. Watch your mouth if you don't think it's serious. You're going to let politics get you hurt. So that's why I'm saying that to say, if you take that on a one-on-one level, look at the country go up in flames over some stupid politics. Meanwhile, how much is 2 bags of groceries? Tell me that part. Let's take a break. You know, people are just losing it over nonsense. They really are. To my subscribers, don't you get out here losing your mind over politics. Have some dignity. Don't go out here all crazy over no politics. Act like you got some sense. Vote who you're going to vote for and keep it pushing. That's what you do. This is to the blacks and the whites. You know, I got a friend, you know, he's a white dude. He's like a brother to me. And he's always tripping out over politics. Every time I talk to him, he want to argue about Trump. He want to argue about Trump. He want to argue about Trump. And like when he called me, I'm thinking he called me just to talk about something else. And the last time he called me, he did the same thing. I'm like, how many times you want to talk? That's what you call me for? We supposed to be like brothers. Why you don't call me and talk about something else? Why you call me and want to argue about politics? 2 weeks later, he in the hospital dying. If he's not unalived already, because I haven't heard from him since this post. Been distant for the last 8 months. No, I've been battling a lot of battles from a few strokes to heart attacks. My life has been a battle to stay alive. 2 days ago, had a heart attack. Today, I'm undergoing left side coronary angiogram. Wish me luck. I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty spooked. Let me tell you something. Just a couple weeks before this, he wanted to argue with me over politics. We mean he already was having strokes and heart attacks when he got on the phone. See what I'm saying? This man get on the phone with me. Unhealthy. Arguing about politics. Do that make any sense to y'all? Does that make any sense that the last time I talked to him, he wanted to talk about Michelle Obama, Barack, and Trump? To the point, I had came to the conclusion, I didn't want to talk to him no more. I didn't want to be friends with him no more. I'm like, I don't want to talk to this dude no more because he keeps trolling me over the Obamas and over Trump. But we supposed to be brothers, bro. You can't. That's what you calling me for? I ain't got time to be answering my phone for weird stuff like that, bro. I'm not thinking about Obama and Trump and all that every day. I don't get up thinking about that, bro. I got bills to pay and things to do. I'm trying to exercise. I'm trying to eat right. I got 6 children. I got grandchildren. I got like serious other things. I'm not thinking about politics like that. I don't wake up thinking about politics. I wake up thinking about, is my Comcast bill due? Is my phone bill due? Are my children safe? Are my children's mothers all right? Is my health all right? What's going on with the weather? What's going on with my finances? I'm not thinking about that. None. I don't get up thinking about Trump gonna come to Chicago. I don't care. I don't care. Because if I could talk to Trump, I say, bro, you worrying about the wrong things. He worrying about the wrong things. He need to be getting his ankles down, and he need to be making sure that he can get his health rejuvenated. Because he ain't going to be doing nothing from the looks at it. Because they said when the Queen's hands was like that, she passed away 3 days later. And how many of you Americans is worried about that stuff and you sick too? You overweight, you diabetic, or your sugar's high, you eating too much salt, you got headaches all the time, your knee is bad, your back is bad. You wake up talking about Trump, the Republicans. Gotta be kidding me. I got weirdos, unidentified, goofy people hit me up on goofy stuff on YouTube with an alias. I don't got time to be arguing with no UGPs, bruh. And watch them steal my whole steeds right here. I came up with that. Watch everybody start talking about UGPs. Know that I started that. This is social media where it's a whole bunch of UGPs on social media. Oh, myself. I don't know, Big Pharaoh. Okay. It's a whole bunch of unidentified goofy people on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, a whole bunch of UGPs. Whole bunch of UGPs on social media want to argue with me, and you an unidentified goofy person. And you want me to argue with somebody that's unidentified. Your name, Boobily Boo Boo, right? With these weird names, want to debate. Your name, S. La Dave, and all this old nonsense. You know what I'm saying? And you somebody daddy. You understand? They ain't angry for real. Let me tell you something, Jupiter. That's fake angry. That's fake angry. Bruh, that's fake angry. It's fake. That's fake angry. When they outside, they ain't not angry. When they really get outside, when somebody could do a commercial on them. Once they go outside where that commercial can happen, they not angry no more. Because they know the commercial started. Somebody will reach out and touch someone. When they get like that, they not angry. They not angry when somebody can reach out and touch someone. They not angry there. I be outside all the time. And them be the angry internet people. But when I get on the train with them or I walk in the store with them, where that energy at? Keep it $1 billion. Where that energy at outside? See, when I'm chill. I'm not no aggressor. I don't go on nobody's account starting stuff. So when you see me outside, I'm chill. I'm not no gangster outside. I'm not no aggressor outside. I'm like, what's up outside? I'm not no agitator or none of that. I only be wilding out on BANs. You know what I'm saying? which could be any race. Just because I put the N's on there don't mean they black. But I be wilding out on BANs. But I don't just be wilding out on people. Like that. I be wilding out on men that got pennies on. Not the gay ones, the straight ones. To be always doing all this jaw jacking on this internet and always trying to start stuff while they're an unidentified goofy person. Nobody can't even identify you. Nobody can't even know where you at or none of that. Like they told me it was a dude way up in Minnesota talking about what he gonna do with me. Yeah, way up in Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he gonna sit out way up in Minnesota. He ain't gonna come down to the rack and say a damn thing. Come on, bruh. Come on. Bruh, you'll be getting shipped back to Somalia or Sudan, wherever you at. They'll be shipping you back. And there'll be a whole bunch of song singing. Come on, man. Come on, man. You ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna stay your punk ass up in Minnesota and make videos. You know what I'm saying? What? What? Come on, bro. You're gonna be over there and your sandals gonna still be laying over there, boy. You playing with the real. What is you talking about, boy? Come on, man. You from Sudan. You know what I'm saying? You a terrorist or something. Go terrorize. You know what I'm saying? Leave a real N-word alone. Oh, my soul. Come on, bro. Come on, man. I moved to Sudan and have a whole crew in 4 months. I go to Sudan, they all be four-corner hustlers. On my soul. I be the man in the Sudan. All I gotta do is knock back the first op, and then everybody gonna bet down when I come to their town. You know what I'm saying? Oh my soul. All I gotta do is come over there with about 5 YNs, get their passport, and we drop down in Sudan and stand on stuff. Mm-hmm. I'd be down there doing my thing. They'd be mad till I messed up the culture because I'd be on there talking to the old defined women. Baby, you ain't got to be all wrapped up in all that. I need, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got to have your face all wrapped up. Oh, Abdullah told you that. Man, Abdullah ain't no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Yeah, I mean, don't listen to Abdullah, man. He ain't all wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? He around here chasing tourists. Got you all wrapped up like that. If the men don't wrap up like that, then you don't have to either. It's supposed to be equal. They got you all wrapped up, but they ain't wrapped up. She belong to me now. She ain't got to wrap up no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But my man, sick as a dog, want to argue about Trump. Now I got to forgive him whenever I hear from him because I wasn't going to talk to him no more. Because I was like, oh, he on some white supremacy type stuff. Like, bro, you know I'm black. How you white? You know I'm black. And how you dissing me for supporting a black president? This makes no sense to me. Because I had some whites ask me that. Because I voted for Obama and all that. And they want to say something. But I'm black, 50 million, with 200 million whites. And what's wrong with me voting for my own race so that my race have some type of power, political power? Why should I want all whites to be the politicians? But yet whites vote white. But you don't have to say you vote white because everybody's white. But then when I vote black, you try to act like I'm voting different than you. You voting white? Like 90-something% of the Congress and the Senate is white. So how can a white person tell me don't vote for no black person that's going to represent black people? That don't make no sense. That's like a women not voting for women so they have some female representation. Makes sense to me that women would want to see women in politics, so somebody's there for women's issues. It makes sense to me. Why wouldn't a women want to see women in there to try to help make sure somebody in there to represent women? Oh, we just supposed to have all white males? They the only ones can do the job? What's a white man in there now? Why the country fucked up? Why everything costs twice the price? Why all the stores ain't got no merchandise? Tell me that. Why is U.S. People all in Washington dressed like the military, and you're taking these men away from their families and everything on the National Guard and paying them for 29 days and firing them so they don't got to get their benefits? Because that's what Trump doing. He calling these National Guards up. If they work 30 days, it's special benefits they get. He hiring them for 29 days and then ending their duty and then calling them back for another 29 days so they can't get their benefits. Look it up. Cheating them out their benefits. And these are mostly white American soldiers that want to fight for the country. He calling them up away from their jobs, their family, and their children. But he will not put them on a 30-day contract so they can't get their benefits. He put them on 29 days so they can't get their benefits. You think they don't know that? They know he using them. They know he using them. See, the problem with Trump was he was too old, him and Biden. So you got one dude 95, you got another dude 94, and you say the 95-year-old too old, and you focus on the 95-year-old because he's the president, and then you let the 94-year-old get in there. Because basically Trump and Biden is the same damn age, and they both too old. And if you look at Trump, they hand him a bill and he signed it. I don't believe he's even writing them bills or know what's in them bills. I believe J.D. Vance and them run the country. Trump don't even run this country. Somebody else is handing them pieces of paper for him to sign. Some Project 2025 people like J.D. Vance, they are running this country. Just watch next time Trump signs a bill. They come and they put it there and he just signs it. I bet you he's not running this country. I bet you anything Donald Trump is not running this country. Go watch next time he signed a bill. He looked like a puppet. And they be telling him, this is going to be great, Mr. President. This is going to be great. You're going to look great. And he'd be like, okay. And he just signed it. And they tell him what to say. Who seen him when he was on the White House roof? And they said, Mr. President, what you was doing up there? And he started rambling. And then they ran upstairs and came out the door with another camera and filmed them being coherent to hide the first video when he was just wandering on the roof. And they ran up there. Oh, he's on the roof saying just anything. Go up there. We need to cover this up. Doing him dirty like that, using him instead of doing him just like they did Biden. They doing Trump dirty. They supposed to let him sit down and rest. His health is gone. But for their benefit, they got him up there. And his sons and everybody else is the one running the country. He ain't running nothing. Poor Trump is being used. Anybody look could see it. He had 3 meetings the other day, day before yesterday, and he didn't remember not one. He had the first meeting and forgot he had it, and had a second meeting and forgot he had it, and had a third meeting. And at every meeting, he was rambling. No meeting covered nothing of the same stuff. He had 3 meetings the same day. They said he forgot he had the first meeting. And the man is sick. They're doing him dirty. Talking about he the most anticipated death in American history. See, I'm not really finna chant against dude like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish nothing bad on him because I come from a world where when you wish bad on people, then you be wishing bad on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So if he did pass away, you wouldn't see me celebrating on. That's weak. You know what I'm saying? That's weak. I'm not doing that. If he a goofy and doing evil stuff, that's on him. But I gotta look out for me, and I gotta make sure my character's always intact. So I'm not getting ready to do that. I'm not finna chant for that man to pass away and all that. Come on, man. I ain't putting that dark energy on me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing that. Not like that. I don't hate him and nothing like that. Because I don't hate people I don't know. So I don't hate him like that. That's politics. Politics is politics. He gonna change it. Young people, listen to me. He gonna change a bunch of stuff. The Democrats gonna win everything. They're gonna change all that shit back. Welcome to the United States of America. I've seen this movie already. All that shit he changing. He gonna loot. The Democrats, the Republicans ain't gonna win no more. Because they done messed everything up. The next president gonna be a Democrat. They're gonna change everything back. You watch. Watch. America be bullshit, man. That's why we can't get nothing done, because they change it, then they change it back, and they change it, then they change it back. Meanwhile, we like, what's up with minimum wage? What's up with the housing? Later for your housing and your minimum wage in your schools. We're changing stuff back and forth. We're fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? Democrats and Republicans. Later for you Americans. Don't you see I'm fighting these Republicans? Don't you see I'm fighting these Democrats? I don't got time for y'all. I got to beat them. You know, that's basically, and we, the citizens, they try to get you in the fight. The whole time you losing. You tell me American citizens ain't losing right now today. Are American citizens winning or losing? The American citizens are losing. Losing. Losing jobs, losing money, prices going through the roof, health insurance through the roof, life insurance through the roof, car insurance through the roof. A lot of people driving their old cars. They can't buy no new car. People holding on to their cars. People are holding on to their cars. Big shots is going out buying cars. They're getting repoed in 16 months, 24 months. Shorty all on the internet with his new Escalade. 16 months later is repoed. People on the internet with a whole bunch of jewelry on. It's all fake. Rapper got big old chains and ring. It's all fake. It's all moissanite and silver. It's all the front. Old rappers starving. They doing cooking shows. Benny Siegel got a food truck. Cam and Mace podcasting. Because they can't make no rap money. Everybody running into YouTube to try to make. Why you think all these people on YouTube? Because they ain't got no money. They trying to make money. They on YouTube. People on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram working like a job. Go check out Poetic Flacco and see how many times he posts a day. Because this is a job. This is people is living off of YouTube. That's a fact. All that clothing hustling and mail order and all that, that's going down because people ain't got no money. People ain't got money like that. They just got enough money to make it. I just had to send a friend $400. They make good money. But stuff come up. They good for it. It could be me. Money funny out here. Guess how much they charging us for Comcast to go live? Guess how much they charging? Man, they robbing. Every time I give my bill, it's $200. Because you got to have a certain speed internet. You can't have that regular internet and do this. It would be lagging. The only reason my voice is coming through, I'm paying for that. I'm paying. That's why you need to support content creators because they paying to make that content. Don't let them fool you. Even on Instagram, if you don't have your phone connected to the internet and you try to download something or upload, it'll take forever. Your phone internet will not work. Ask somebody. If I'm on Instagram, Facebook, it will not work good unless I'm on my office internet. On everything. Do I eat gluten or caffeine? How do you eat caffeine? And what that got to do with this conversation? Listen, bro, this is what you do. This is what you do. This is what you do, bro. Go to my right channel and ask that. Okay? Go to my right channel and ask that. Okay? Go to my right channel and ask that. Is there anything else I can help you with? Or are you just misusing Haile Selassie and got his majesty up there, but you ain't moving with no dignity? Because for you to have that picture of his majesty up there, it's a certain way you're supposed to be moving. So I'm just trying to see what you are. Where's the dignity for you to have that picture? Don't worry about me. Are you carrying Rastafari in a decent way? Because it don't look like it. It look like you disrespecting Rastafari, if you ask me. So I don't know. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like you need to concentrate on what you pushing and don't worry about me. You ain't my daddy. My daddy passed away. I don't know what you on. I don't know what you on. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm gonna tell you this is what's up, bro. This is what's up. Come back tomorrow. That's what's up. Come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. That's what's up. It's real simple. Yeah, come back tomorrow. Or come holler at me in person. That's all. Man up. Okay? I don't do weirdos. Okay? I don't spend energy on weirdos. It's a block party over here. I got an audience I got to talk to, and they ain't interested in me going back and forth with nobody that ain't on nothing. Some fake reggae rostery type of dude. You ain't really even standing on what you're supposed to be standing on. Misusing His Majesty for foolishness. You out of line. Leave Rastafari out your foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Bad things be happening to people that don't be moving right. That's all I could tell you. Bad things. A lot of these young men over here, they be on the internet trying to tell people what to do. They don't even be good fathers. Some of them, they don't even have children. They ain't even trying to reproduce. But everybody definitely go over and subscribe to Vegan Intel. Go subscribe to Vegan Intel, youtube.com/Vegan Intel. Go do that. It's a lot of knowledge over there. A lot of things can help you with your health. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go subscribe. youtube.com/Vegan Intel. Step your game up. Get your health together. You really need to have your health together in these times. Seriously. They're distracting y'all with everything except family, health, economics, unity, so you can get some money. They ain't, unity, so you can get some money. Division and negativity is not good, young people. It's not good. It's a distraction. Y'all young people, you cannot be caught up into these distractions on this social media. I'm telling you straight up, y'all. You cannot get yourself caught up with distractions on social media. It's good to come over and talk. It's good to have conversations. But not to the point where you're putting too much of your energy off of things from social media. Stay focused on real life. Social media is not real life. Social media is not real life. Okay? I don't mind coming over here talking. It's nice. But still, I always try to keep y'all focused on real life. Here in Chicago, we losing brothers because they playing on social media. So make sure you go subscribe to Vegan Intel. They're in the chat now. Subscribe to that channel so you can keep up with what's going on with you as far as health. But back to the conversation. I'm not really caught up in the Democrat-Republican thing. For me, for the Democrats to be jackasses, I don't understand that. anyway. Why would you want to be a donkey? So that in itself is, I don't know, questionable. Let me see how that started. Where did that come from? Somebody tell me that. Because it doesn't seem like it makes any sense to me. I'm gonna look it up right now. Oh, this is too long. I can't read all that. Maybe I'll look it up some other time. If anybody know, put it in the chat. I don't feel like reading all of this. Yeah, I'm not reading all that, not while I'm live. Does anybody know why they're portrayed as a donkey? I don't understand. If you know, or if you feel like it, look it up for me and tell us. But this image right here is not a good image of soldiers in your own country like that. That's just not a good look. You got soldiers with military guns for crime. Come on, man. This is about as bad as it gets. This is a horrible look. Okay? This is a horrible look. The Trump administration is embarrassing the country. That's what he's doing. He's ruining any prestige that America has. I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. If you wanted to do something about crime, all you had to do was send some more money for the police departments in these cities. That's it. And you could have sent federal agents to work with the police to help coordinate efforts for crime. That's what you got the FBI for. He could have sent FBI agents. There's plenty of them sitting around doing nothing. He could have sent FBI agents to the chief of police and had them coordinate efforts to clean up the crime. That's it. He could have did that, and he could have sent money. I'm gonna send so much money so you can hire 100 more police officers. This is what I got. The Association of the Democratic Party with the donkey originated in 1828 presidential campaign of Andrew Jackson. His opponent called him a jackass due to Toshi populist views. But Jackson embraced the insult, using a strong-willed donkey on his campaign poster. Oh, okay, that makes sense because a donkey is hard-headed and won't let you tell him thanks for that, baby Lane. A donkey is hard-headed. So he said, yeah, I'm a donkey and I'm stubborn. So I get it. That makes some sense. Okay, so that's where this comes from. All right. All right, that makes some sense. And they just don't want it. They just don't want to change history. You know, if history's already a certain type of way, I get it. Interesting. Thanks, baby Lane. Because I didn't want to be rude and be looking it up while I'm here talking to people and stuff. You know, interesting. I'm not real comfortable. One reason I'm not comfortable with being a Democrat or Republican is because if I'm rolling with the Democrats in Chicago, I don't want that to be associated with the whole nation. But I understand it because the Democrats or Republicans is based off of cities and states. And then what they try to do is that when a Democrat is running for office, he can go get the help of all the Democrats in different states and cities. And when a Republican is running from office, they can go get the help from all the Republicans in different states and cities. So I do understand the principle of it. And I do understand some people nationally want to be that. If I could, I would only be a local Democrat. And then that can't be in stone because what if I get a Democrat that's running that's not going to do a good a job as the independent or the Republican? Should I just put him in there just because I'm a Democrat? That's where it gets a little crazy. In Chicago, we're forced to vote with the Democrats because the Republican Party is always the state, and the Democrat Party is always the city of Chicago. And the fear is that if the Republicans get power, they'll suck all the money out the city and send it to the whites in the state, like what they're doing in Jackson, Mississippi, because it's the capital. White Republicans are coming into Jackson and they'll suck all the riches out of the black people in the city and they'll funnel all of that stuff out to the whites because we already funnel money out because the taxes for where you live, if a white company own the building you live in, then all the money go to them. Nothing goes to you. All your tax dollars, all your money you spend for rent, they get to write it off for taxes. You don't get to write off nothing. So if you live in O Block, at the time I was there, was a company in Texas that owned O Block. So all our money, he was able, or the Texas person or company was able to claim all that money that we was getting. They need to change that. And the residents need to be able to have some of that money represent them. But the owner, so if you got Europeans own everything in the black community, they get the benefits from the taxes. You get nothing. The system is totally rigged, and racism plays a big part in it. I just can't understand why whites are so racist after this long. You would figure they would let it go, and some are, but it's a little tiring to see people just steal full of hate for so long, but will use you when it's time to go to war and stuff like that. It's a bad look. You know, I think Black Americans should start refusing to go into the military until we get certain things. You want everything, you go fight. Don't have me go fight for the country and then come back. Now you want to fight me when I get here. Take your punk ass and go fight by yourself. We didn't went to too many wars with people that still don't respect us. I'm not going to fight behind somebody who don't like me. Fight next to somebody who don't like me. Go fight your own wars. We don't determine the wars or nothing. So why should we go put our life on the line? Go put our life on the line for somebody we might end up having to fight right here. Because when you look at Gaza, you know, you can see, you can't really trust what's going on. They might want to do the black areas just like he doing Gaza. I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him to bomb the black areas. Not at all. I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him. It's a lot of dark, evil energy out here. I would call it Luciferian, like satanic type energy. To me, slavery was satanic. There was nothing godly about that. That if there's God and the devil, slavery had to be ran by the devil. There's nothing godly in it. Nothing. It was demonic. So when you look at Mother Nature as godly, a lot of things make sense that's happening and that's going to happen. Because that demonic energy goes for everybody. The chickens, the cows get slaughtered, the chickens get slaughtered, all the lions and elephants get shot, the giraffes get shot, animals get put in SeaWorld, get put in the zoo. The whole energy is satanic. To me, of the people that rule the planet, the whole energy is dark. It's satanic. What else could you call it? This is why you got so many children missing and child pornography and all this stuff. Because the whole setup is satanic. What other reason could it be for there to be so much evil? Make it make sense. If you read what was done to the slaves, their skin cut off and made into a furniture and all that, how that's not the devil? And then go pray to God after you do it. Burning crosses, you know what I'm saying? Well, if you think about Christ being on the cross and Christ being black and you burning the cross, that's very interesting. What's that symbolic of when the Ku Klux Klan burned the cross? If you think about a black Christ on the cross, and if you put the image of that black Christ on the cross, aren't they symbolizing burning up Christ on the cross? That's what the symbolism looked like to me. That ain't the symbolism when the Ku Klux Klan be burning crosses. That is imaginary that they burning Christ, the Black Christ. I mean, what other symbolism will it be? Would it be? They call it burn you at the stake, but the stake was a cross because they tied your arms out, and the bottom was the stake. Think about it. Now they panicking because a spaceship coming here and they don't know who it is. They don't know who own it. But they say it's coming right this way. They saying it's coming here. They scared too. They don't know what that is. Some trying to say it's a comet or something, but people saying it ain't got no tail. It ain't no comet. They saying it might be nuclear powered or something like that. They trying to estimate how big it is, but they don't think they can yet. It's definitely interesting. Definitely. All I can tell people is, have your life together. Get your life together. You know what I'm saying? Because anytime things get too bad, things collapse, floods start happening, fires start happening. Anytime people get too far on the dark side, then the earth starts to go to war with them. They think they're going to go to war with people, but they end up having to go to war with their environment. And the way people are functioning, they're definitely going to end up going to war with the environment. There's no way they're not going to, because it's just too dark, too much dark energy, too much hate and dark negative energy. And that dark energy is like spreading to like husband and wife and children. Y'all see where the trans, what you would call trans woman, just shot all them people? Y'all seen that? In Minneapolis? They say it hates everybody. They say this trans woman hates everybody. Don't like blacks, don't like nothing, from what I'm understanding. They say they don't like nothing. I haven't checked out the story yet, but my phone was ringing. Look, what we know about the shooting: two children, ages 8 to 10, are unalive after a shooter opened fire during a morning mass at Annunciation Catholic School on the south side of Minneapolis. 17 other people, including 14 children, were injured. The shooter has been identified as Robert Westman, 23, who passed away of self-inflicted gunshot wounds, shot theyself, right? And they saying it's a trans person, like a I think a trans a trans woman. They saying, you know what I mean? I don't know what that's all about. You know what I'm saying? Mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Mental illness. That you're going to see more and more of as the pressure get on, as surviving gets worse, cost of living keeps going up. You're going to see more and more of bad things happen because people are going to have what you call nervous breakdowns. That's what they used to call them. People are going to have nervous breakdowns, and they're going to have a violent reaction based on those nervous breakdowns. Because when you, this is the one thing I don't, this is the one mistake that the Democratic Party is making, and that's promoting hate. I feel like the Democratic Party is promoting too much hate. I really do. I feel like the Democratic Party is promoting too much hate. I think they I think they putting that energy out there. That's just what I think. I think they're putting too much dark energy out. That's what I believe. Too, it's too dark. It's too much. It's too divisive, and that divisive energy it splits up people into groups, and then certain groups will start acting crazy. But it also isolates individuals. You know what I'm saying? And individuals get a little crazy. They do say the Jewish people run both parties, but the general public is responsible because the general public is a bunch of lames. And how long could you sit back and you the majority and let somebody run over you? This whole thing is the fault of the public. The general public are some lames. They're not standing on nothing. They're divisive themselves. There's no way a country can be divisive unless the people be divisive. And if the politicians can make the people be divisive, then the politicians can run over the people. So the American people got to take responsibility for everything that's happening. You letting it happen. If you say it's Israelis running the government and you're letting it happen, how is it not your fault? It's the American people that's destroying the government. It's not the politician. It's not the Israelis. It's the American people are destroying the government because the American people are not focused on making life better for everybody. The American people want to be divided up. And we all know it's divide and conquer. And if the American people are divided, they're going to get conquered. And the American people are divided and letting the billionaires and trillionaires run everything. I think white Americans are being manipulated because they're white. I believe these billionaires and trillionaires use white to run over white Americans. They use race to get white Americans to help them get richer, and then they leave the white Americans behind. That's what I believe. I believe racism is used to destroy blacks, Asians, Hispanics, and whites. I think they make whites feel entitled without them really being entitled. Like, for example, look how Trump is keeping whites in the dark by coming to black cities when the most crime is in Republican cities. But he's got them looking at Democrat cities. But the Republican cities got way more crime. Way more. It's not even close. Way more murder. That's a fact. Way more corruption. Way more crime. They're not even posting how many times they're shooting their parents and shooting each other, shooting up schools. They're not posting all that. They're not showing all that. This story just happened. They're gonna brush that over. They're gonna brush that under the rug. They're not gonna add that to the statistics. How many times that's been happening? And I believe the main person that loses from racism is whites. I think the people they are most afraid of is white Americans. This is who the politicians are most afraid of. So if they can make white Americans look at blacks, then they won't look at them. And they can rob them for everything they got. And when white Americans look up, they'll be slaves waiting on money to be siphoned for them. They'll be on a universal income. They'll be living in 15-minute cities and they'll be having to do whatever they told to do. And they will not get a piece of the pie. All across this country, white Americans is suffering. That's a fact, especially the elderly. That's why that man went and underlived that man with the insurance companies. They robbing them. Listen, they are robbing them blind with life insurance, car insurance. White Americans in Florida can't even pay their home insurance because they raised it so high after hurricanes that they can't afford it. White Americans are living in their homes with no home insurance because they can't afford it. They feel like they might as well save their money and rebuild on their own. They're getting taken to the bank. If you want to rob people and you want to get money, right? If you want to rob people and you want to get money, who are you going to rob? The 50 million or the 200 million? Who are you can get the most money from? The 50 million blacks or the 230 million whites? If you want to rob Americans, who would you rob? What you would do is you would make the whites think you robbing the blacks so they go to sleep so you can rob them. You'll make them say, look at the blacks, look at the blacks, look at the blacks. And they'll hate the blacks, and they'll hate the blacks while the white politicians rob them blind. By the time they wake up, it'll be too late. Anybody can see it. They ain't doing nothing for white America. Nothing. White America's going down. Population's going down. Birth rate's going down. Homosexuality going up. Marriage down. Suicide up. Murders up. Assault and batteries up. Going straight down. Yeah, West Virginia, yeah. That's why they was out there on January 6th. That's why they was out there. But the energy was misguided. They mad, but they had them get they averted their anger towards the wrong people. And boy, when they wake up and they find out who really doing them dirty, they're gonna go crazy. When white America finds out who really robbed them and who really is their enemy, they're gonna be so because it's not black people, for sure. We're not thinking about white people where we live at. The system is making them think about us. Think about that. The system is making them think about us. But the system ain't making us think about them. Black people do not be talking about white people like that. This is rare. I'm just talking about this because I'm doing live stream. Other than this, we don't talk about them. When you're in the black community, you don't hear no white hate. Like in white communities, we don't got no Ku Klux Klans and Nazis. We don't got that. That's why they tried to paint Farrakhan like that, to fool white Americans. We don't have that. I went to see Farrakhan. He don't be talking about white people. Sure don't. Not like they would think. Not like they want to believe. We don't have that. We don't have hate groups. What's that? What hate group we got? The Black Panthers was self-defense. All our groups be self-defense to protect ourselves, but we don't have hate groups. Hate groups is derived for whites so that they won't pay no attention to the government. Just that simple. Bamboozle them. No, we don't be thinking about them at all. They constantly got us in their minds. Basically. You look at Gaza. Let me show you something. Watch this. On everything. Watch this. Let me show you something. The other day when they bombed Gaza, about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, You know who was out there helping a lot of them children in Gaza? Now, this is a real Palestinian, the original Palestinians. Them other people ain't the original Hebrew Israelite Palestinians. Them is Arabs. Them are Eastern Europeans. The war in between Israel and Palestine is Western Europeans against Eastern Europeans. The land belongs to neither. The land belongs to him, the original people that was in their land. I saved this picture. I seen them on the video and I snapped a picture. I wanted to save it because they hide them. This man just 2 weeks ago was in Gaza helping the Eastern Europeans that they call Palestinians. But this is the real Palestinian that they don't want you to see. These are facts. These are absolute facts. These are real Hebrew Israelites. Saying this, you're considered anti-Semitic when you're the original Semites. How could a Semite, the original Semite, be anti-Semitic? Make some sense. Especially when you're not hating on no people. You're just saying they not you. That they not who they are. That's not hate. That's a fact. These are the original Hebrew Israelites. And these are facts. What y'all know about these Hebrew Israelites right here? These are the Limba Hebrew Israelites. Lemba. Look them up. That's the Limba Hebrew Israelites. Look them up. This is the Igbo Hebrew Israelites. These are the original Hebrew Israelites. That's why I'm not monetized. Let me show you all what's really going on. These are the Falasha, the Ethiopian Hebrew Israelites. The real Hebrew Israelites. The original. Better known as the Beta Hebrew Israelites in Ethiopia. Both of these. Falasha, Beta Hebrew Israelites. My brother Ben Ami Ben Israel from Chicago. He's an African Hebrew Israelites. Rest in peace to Ben Ami. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters over at Soul Vegetarian. This what they don't want you to see. So this Palestinian, real Palestinian. Now the funny thing about what's going on over there is that when those people that call themselves Palestinians came into that area, they mistreated these people, the same Palestinians that's having problems in Gaza, are the ones that took the land from the black original Palestinians. You see, you reap what you sow. And them people came into Palestine and Egypt during the Arab conquest. During the Arab conquest, that's when they took Israel, what they call Israel, Gaza, and all that. And that's when they took Egypt and most of that North Africa, Libya, and all that. That's why up there you see they got all the oil, they got all the wealth up there. They all up there from the Arab invasion, also from the Turks. And when the Arabs came into Palestine, they mistreated these people and took their land. They took their land. And then, after the whole situation with Hitler and stuff, the white governments of the world sent those Israelis to take it from the people that took it from her. They basically reaped what they sowed. They came in and took it from the blacks, and then these Eastern Europeans came and took it from the blacks, and then they had the Western Europeans come and take it from them. That's what's going on over there. And the brother was over there in Gaza trying to help the people, one of the original ones, and he trying to help the people that took it from him and his relatives. $100%. This is the descendant of Ishmael, the tribe of Shabazz, a relative of Belial. Belial was the one that took it. Muhammad did not take Islam into Africa. Belial did. Belial took that down there. Hey, people need to get the facts straight. That's why we call ourselves Balalian. These things people don't talk about anymore. But the term is Balalian. Belial was the one that spreaded the message. That's a fact. Belial was the one spread the message of the Prophet Muhammad. That is a fact. And this is why so many black people was open towards Islam. Because it was coming from black Muslims. It was coming from love. But they began to split the religion up when the white Arabs wanted to come in. And that's why you got Shia and Sunni. One side coming from the black and the other side coming from the white Arabs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he started the prayer call. Yes, sure did. Sure did. Because they don't want to know that the Prophet Muhammad was black. He was a descendant from Ethiopia. His grandfather was an Ethiopian. This is why when the white Arabs started to take it over and started to chase the descendants of Muhammad out of there, the black ones, they went to Ethiopia. And when they went to Ethiopia to talk to the emperor in Ethiopia and said, can we come here for refuge? He said, of course, because you are relatives. Your granddaddy from here. This is all fact that I will tell you. When when the white Arabs tried to take over from Muhammad's children and tried to unalive Muhammad's children and grandchildren, they fled to Ethiopia. At that time, the emperor at that time, they asked him, could we take refuge here? He said, yeah, this where your great-granddaddy from. This where y'all from. Come on. That's a fact. That's why you got all of the religions in Ethiopia. Because everybody, when they was fighting the Europeans, everybody had to flee to Ethiopia, and that was the stronghold. That's why it never got conquered, because that was the stronghold. That's the part that's in between the Old Testament and the New Testament. That's where that war went down. See, when the Old Testament ends, that's when all the blacks was getting together to fight against the whites. And that's when Islam, Judaism, and it wasn't no Christianity yet, all the different blacks was fighting that conquest. So that's why when you get to the New Testament, all of a sudden the Romans is down there harassing black people and nail them to the crosses. See, they don't want to tell you the part on why the Romans was even down there. You understand? Y'all go follow me on From Kemet to Chicago. That's where we're going to be going heavy into this. I'm just trying to wait till winter time comes. And I'm going to be over there like dropping nuclear bombs over there. It's going to be really too much. I don't want to do it over here. I want to have it. I'm separating all my content for, for people that really want to deal with that content. So for you to even come over there, you really going to have to be on something, really want to hear something. We're not doing no trolls or none of that on those particular channels. We're not doing no trolls on Vegan Intel. We're not doing no trolls on Kemet to Chicago. That's going to be all serious knowledge for people that really want to learn. It's not going to be for nobody that don't want to learn. It's not going to be for nobody that want to argue, that don't want to strap their boots up and come in alive with the facts. You're going to have to come with the facts. You ain't going to be able to come. Once I bring you in alive, you're going to have to know your stuff. You ain't going to be able to come over there babbling, rattling off. So I can't wait to get that going. But a lot of brothers and sisters don't know this. Even that's in these different, what you would call religions. They don't know the unity of the religions. Because they don't want them to know that the religions is unified. There is no difference between the religions. There is no difference between Hebrew Israelites and black Muslims, between black Hebrew Israelites, black Christians, and black Muslims. There is no difference. That's fake. There is no difference. There was just language differences, but there was really no religious difference between them people. They was all worshiping God. They just call them. This is in Ethiopia. This is in Nagash. This is an Islamic temple in Nagash. These are facts. That's why I be disappointed Rasta, because Rasta wasn't never no religion. We supposed to know the knowledge. And they let some Bobo and them turn Rasta into a religion. Rasta was never no religion. His Majesty was the emperor of all the people, of the Muslims, the Christians, and the Hebrew Israelites, and the common people. He wasn't the emperor of no group like that. You can't be the emperor of no group. You know, you're the emperor of the country. You're doing the business of the country. You're not doing the business of the religions. You're protecting all the people, and the people are from various religions. Duh. So you got Islamic safe havens in Ethiopia. Here go one right here. This the sacred Najishi Mosque. See this is. That's over there fighting for survival because the Ethiopians now is picking up a bunch of weirdo stuff. Okay? Basically. Falling into the Babylon trap, beefing between countries and tribes. So here we go right here. It's beautiful. This is a holy place right here. See what it say? Islam's safe haven. Sacred Najishi Mosque. Look, the Najishi Mosque, situated in Ethiopia's northern town of Nagash, holds immense historical and religious importance, recognized as one of Africa's earliest mosques and amongst the oldest globally. It bears the name of King Nagash. The mosque is a powerful symbol of compassion and support, a testament to the king's act of refuge for the early Muslim followers, Sahaba, persecuted by Mecca's Quraysh tribe. This act led to the establishment of the first Muslim settlement in Nagash. The mosque embodies Ethiopia's warm welcome to these early Muslims and the nation's deep-rooted historical ties to Islam. Despite its rich heritage, the Tigray region, where Nagash is located, has faced significant challenges in attracting tourists due to the recent devastating civil war. So see, they having a war up there and messing everything up. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about all this. Make sure you go follow From Kemet to Chicago. It's going to be fire. We're going to break it all down. History, our people should know. Our people should know the history. We was never divided on no different beliefs or nothing like that. That's all fake. And we wasn't never divided up like that, arguing over that. Yeah, Israel too. But the first one was in Egypt. They went to Egypt first. That's where they went. I mean, Ethiopia. They went to Ethiopia first. This is when the beef first popped off. This is when the beef first popped off, and they tried to take Islam from Muhammad's black relatives, and they had to flee. That's why you got Sunni and Shia. Look, hold on. Look, you don't get it nowhere. Hey, you don't get this nowhere. Azim, our people don't know this history because nobody want to talk about it. See? Hold on. See? Shia Muslims believe that leadership of the Muslim community or the imamate was a divine appointment that should have passed from Muhammad to his family, starting with Ali. They reject the legitimacy of the first three caliphs chosen by the community. So they said that the Sunni is bogus, that they trying to take over from Muhammad, but it should have went to Ali. That's why dude name was Muhammad Ali, because Elijah Muhammad was standing on the Shia. The Sunni is what it is. I don't want to speak on it because you got crazy people with me saying the wrong thing, so I got to watch what I say. But that's what the beef is over. I can't say what is what. I got to mind my business, but read between the lines. The Shia, Ali was the real family member. Ali was the prophet's cousin. So Ali was the son of Abu Talib, which was the prophet's uncle. And Ali was one of the first to accept Islam, and he was known for his unwavering support of the prophet. He often accompanied the prophet on his journey and was a trusted confidant. In a famous incident, the prophet declared Ali to be to him as Aaron was to Moses. There you have it. So they went to Ethiopia. But like Dr. Ben said, Muhammad's great grandfather was an Ethiopian. And we already know about Ishmael. All of that is blood. The blood is already mixed. So for you young brothers and sisters, I don't know why y'all debating Judaism versus Islam when they relatives. They relatives. The Hebrew Israelites, the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Muslims is relatives. Okay? Them is all relatives. They are brothers and cousins and husbands and wives. These is facts. They don't teach that no more. When I came up in Black consciousness, that's how we was living. We knew that. I don't know they didn't pass it down. Sarnetta and them didn't pass that down. They passed down debates and beefing. You know, they passed down debates and beefing. I didn't like the way Sarnetta and them handled that. They could have told the people the unity. They should have been having open discussions about how the families was tied together instead of trying to prove which religion is right and wrong, because it ain't no right and wrong religion. That sounds crazy. How you gonna have a wrong religion? You can have wrong practices in the religion, but you can't have no wrong religion. People can make up practices and put in the religion, but religious practices is not the religion. The religion is simple, your concept and your relationship with God or Allah or Yahweh. That is the religion. All that other stuff ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Your prayers don't mean nothing without your God. I mean, your God is what's based on the prayers. Duh. Without the concept of a God, what is a prayer? The concept is you believe in a God. You believe in a higher righteous power that wants you to be decent. That's it. It's simple like that. That's why the Ten Commandments is the greatest thing, because that's it. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not do nothing to nobody else. Leave people alone. That's all religions. You know, the Ten Commandments was the lick, because no matter what religion you in, you got to go by them commandments. Them commandments is not Hebrew Israelite commandments. Those are commandments for people. If you go to Italy and you kill somebody or unalive somebody, you go into jail. Thou shalt not kill. It's illegal to kill. It's illegal to steal all over the world. The Ten Commandments is the law in law enforcement. It's the basics. Them people did not have no religion. Fake people came in and started making it religion. In ancient time, if you believed in God and I believed in God, we cool. We just ain't cool if you don't believe in God at all. You know what I'm saying? That was the enemy, the one that don't believe in no God was the enemy. The heathen was the enemy. Not another godly person. Duh. If I go to India and you are holy, cool. I go to China, you are holy on some righteous stuff, cool. You a Buddhist, you on some, yeah, cool. I'm a Buddhist too. Duh. I'm not worried about the fine print, you know? The people worry about the fine print in the religions. Like, that's not the religion. The religion start at the top with the principle. It's a God. We got to live right. All these people belong to Allah or Jehovah or whatever you want to call them. All the people belong to God. So you can't do nothing to God's children, basically, whatever the name of the God is. It's about righteousness, treating other people with respect and dignity and being, you know what I'm saying, dignified. So if you're a righteous person and you go to a country and meet another righteous person, y'all gonna get along just fine. You ain't gonna be over there talking about, man, you got a different type of righteousness, man. I don't like your type of righteousness. I guess I don't like your type of righteousness. It's like, come on, man. What? So they start making up all this weird stuff just to make people not get along, basically. That's why they start adding all this stuff to these religions, to divide people. Them religions didn't have all that. When you look at the way out Christians or the Muslims praying like that, that was the zealots. That was the super holy men. We wasn't supposed to try to be like them. We wasn't supposed to try to be like Moses and them. But now they think they're trying to teach that everybody's supposed to be like the Holy of Holies. No. We were all not supposed to be like Enoch or Muhammad. We're not supposed to try to be like them. Those is the high level of the religion. You cannot be Muhammad. You cannot be Moses. You cannot be Christ. You cannot. When you go to church, you're not the priest. The priest is the priest. Everybody's not supposed to be the priest. But they start taking things that the priests used to do in these religions and telling everybody you're supposed to do what the priest's supposed to do. No. Everybody couldn't go in there with the Ark of the Covenant. Everybody could not go with the holies of holies. You're just supposed to be regular and not causing no problems. You cannot do nothing to go to heaven. You can only do stuff to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? You can only mess up. You can't do right. It's just like when your parents raise you. You can't do right. They don't pay no attention to right. As far as they're concerned, if you're not doing wrong, you're automatically doing right. Right is based off of not doing wrong. Right is not based off of doing right. Doing right is no such thing as doing right. There's no such thing as doing right. Right is left over when you don't do wrong. The Ten Commandments don't say thou shalt be holy. It say thou shalt not steal. Okay? That's all you got to do is not steal, not kill, not lie on people. That's it. If you're not doing that, you're automatically right. Duh. But now they teach you, I got to go to Christian church and I got to do all this right stuff. I got to pray 1,000. I'm not doing all that. That's why I beef with religions, because they tell me I gotta pray, I gotta be holy. No, I don't. I just don't have to be unholy. What are you talking about? If you're not unholy, you're automatically holy. Make it make some sense. Don't y'all listen to all that food. If you ain't doing nothing to nobody, you is holy. You can only be unholy. It's crazy. Y'all stop listening to that stuff. If you ain't bothering nobody, you living a life. You ain't never got to go to church. You ain't never got to go to the temple, the mosque, none of that. If you ain't bothering nobody, you good. If you just living a regular, nice life, you good. God not no nut, man. They put all that stuff in there to divide. So now everybody got to do these rituals. So if you don't do the ritual he do, now you have war. Y'all ain't like us. Y'all don't do our rituals. See what I'm saying? You lady, you supposed to wrap yourself up. You supposed to do this. You supposed to do that. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. A woman do not have to wrap herself up. If she ain't out here doing nothing to nobody, she's fine. Okay? That's all bullshit. Okay? That's all religious fanaticism. That's what it is. It's a way to make people be sinners for your benefit so you could be the holiest one. You the holy one because you do all this stuff you made up all the time. And if I don't do it, I ain't holy. Even though I ain't killed nobody, I ain't done nothing to nobody. But if I don't do all these magic tricks you want me to do, I'm not holy. And the only reason they say to dress modesty had nothing to do with sin. You was told to dress modestly so that you wouldn't attract no men, so that you wouldn't put your husband in danger. These is facts, bro. Because they used to go to town, and if you didn't dress modesty, right, then the men would not think you my wife. And then the men would say something to you that's they not supposed to say. And you could get me unalive. That's why that was. It had nothing to do with you being righteous because you dress modestly. It was to keep the wolves off of you, to keep your husband safe. Which one was that in the Bible, Tim, that went who did that? They went to the other country and they told their wife, don't tell them you my wife, tell them you my sister. And she told them they was their sister, so they started getting at her because she told them they was their sister. And then he had to tell them, no, this is not my sister, this is my wife. And the men got mad and said, you defiled us, because if you would have told us that was your wife, we never would have got at her like that. Why'd you lie? Which one was that? That's in the Old Testament. One of them went to, I think, Egypt or somewhere and lied to the Egyptians, said it's his sister, had her say sister, and they started to talk to her. And then he said, no, don't do that. That's my wife. And they said, you defiled us. Because we was talking to her because you said it was your sister. If you would have told her this was your wife, we never would have talked to her. Who was that? Who was that, Tim? It was Abraham and Sarah, and it happened to somebody else too, but it was Abraham and Sarah, and it was somebody else. It happened a couple, yeah. I think that was Abraham, because it was early in the Bible. That was Abraham, the one I read, because it was early in the Bible. We said, tell them you my sister. So they started rapping to her. And then they was finna get her. They was finna try to take her for them. Because that was the tradition in that country. Because he thought they would kill him. But they showed him, no, we wouldn't. He thought they would kill him if that was his wife. But when he told them it was his wife, they told him, no, they don't want her. So he thought wrong. He thought the people didn't have no dignity, but they did. Because when they found out it was his wife, why they didn't kill him? Because they wasn't gonna kill him if that was his wife. He thought they was gonna kill him if he said it was his wife. But he was wrong. Why they didn't do it, Wizard? Why they didn't kill him when they found out he was his wife? I'll give you a few minutes to answer that. He told them they was his wife. Why they didn't kill him? Why they didn't kill him? You said they would kill him. Why they didn't kill him? Why didn't they kill him when they found out it was his wife? You said they would have killed him. I think the story I'm thinking about was Isaac and Rebekah. They was not going to kill him. Unless we talk about two different stories. Abraham might not have never told him who she was. Which one told him who they was? Because it could be Isaac or it could be Abraham. We might be talking about two different stories, Wizard. But I know in one of the stories, he told them, this is my wife, and they didn't kill him. Now, I might got the wrong person. I might be talking about Isaac, Wizard. I might be talking about Isaac. Whichever one told them, no, this is my wife, and they didn't kill, that's the story I'm talking about. What's the story where they told him, you should have just told us it was your wife? That's the story. If they was going to kill him, that story, they wouldn't, I don't believe they told him, you should have just told us this was your wife. So it had to be Isaac. Which I think it was Isaac. It was early in the Bible, but I think that was Isaac, I think. I don't think I'm talking about the one with Abraham. I have to go look it up. I ain't studied that stuff in a long time. It was Isaac. Yeah, it was Isaac. So you're right, Wizard. It was Abraham and Sarah when they went down to Egypt. I thought it was when they went to Egypt. But Wizard saying they would have killed him, but he told them that was his wife and they didn't kill him. So what's the deal, Reverend Tim? Would they have killed him? And why didn't they? I'm missing something somewhere. I got to read it again because it was something else to that story. It was something else to the reason they would have killed him. I got to read which one it is. I'll figure it out. But I know one of them, they didn't like the fact. Which one they didn't like the fact he was lying? That's the one I'm talking about. Because both of them stories, they didn't like the fact he wasn't lying. So which one? No, not Sodom and Gomorrah. Which one that they didn't like the fact he was lying? That they told him he should have just told them it was his wife. Which one of them was it? Was that Abraham or Isaac? Because that's the story I'm talking about. The one where they said, You should have just told us this was your wife. You defiled us. Whichever one that is, that's the one I'm talking about. Where they didn't like the fact he didn't tell them the truth. I don't know which one that was, Reverend Tim. Wizard, you might be right. You might be talking about the one, and I'm talking about the other one. So you might be right. But I know in the one where they didn't like, they didn't tell their wife, they wouldn't have unalived them because they would have just went on ahead and unalived them anyway. But I think it was in Egypt. Which one? I could have sworn it was in Egypt. I gotta go back and look at it. My point is they had some respect. Because they only tried to talk to her when they found out it wasn't his wife. When he told her, did they take her? Because you're not making no sense, Wizard. Because you said they would have taken her, but they never did. And if they would have, they would have. So what made them not take them if you saying they was going to take her? And what a movie. Well, I know you didn't use no movie. All right. You tripping. You trying to use a movie as an example of some old biblical stuff. Which one of the Reverend 10 where they said he should have told them that was his wife and they defiled them? Because the reason they said it defiled them, Abraham. And then they didn't bother. They didn't bother after that, did they? They didn't bother after that, did they? Did they take Abraham's wife? Or did they? I don't know. I got to look it up. If they took her, I thought they took her before they found out who she was. Right. They was pissed and they kicked him out. They did not take her. I knew it. They was pissed because they said he defiled them, that he should have told them that was his wife. So the other brother got to be talking about Isaac. He ain't talking about Abraham because they did not take Sarah. They made him get out. I thought so. He talking about Isaac. Wizard's talking about Isaac. Yeah, but I'm talking about back when they went to Egypt. Wizard is got to be talking about Isaac. They took Isaac's wife, right? Because they did not take Abraham's wife. They kicked them out. They kicked them out. Both of them. They didn't make her stay. They kicked them out. I don't think you know what you're talking about, Wizard. I can't listen to you no more. You haven't been giving me any facts. Let me listen to people that's giving me the real information. I don't remember none of that story you're talking about. So the king sent for Sarah. And when the king sent for her, did they take her, Rev? And then he went and told him it was his wife? Because then Wizard might be right. When the king sent for Sarah, did they take her? And then Abraham went and told him, this ain't my sister, this my wife. Is that how it happened? Because Wizard might be right. I got to go back and read it and brush up. So Wizard saying them men would have killed her, right? So the next day the Egyptians confronted and want to know who is this? So Wizard might be right. They might have killed him, but once the king got involved, maybe that's the reason it didn't go crazy. But I don't understand why they would say, why you didn't just tell us? That part don't make no sense. Because if he would have told them their wife and they would have took her anyway, why are they saying if you would have told me it's your wife, you should have told me it's your wife? Momentarily they did. But I don't believe they would have killed her if he said it was his wife, because they didn't kill her when they found out it was his wife. That's the part where Wizard got me confused. Because they still would have killed her. Or they just didn't do it because those was just soldiers, and once the king got involved, they didn't have the power to kill her. That could be possible. That could be possible. So then Wizard would be right. I don't know, I got to go back and read it again. Because if these soldiers and they would have killed him, the king might not have never even found out they killed him. He would have just been dead. So that's a good point too. Maybe once the king got involved, that's why they didn't kill him. So Wizard might be right. They might have would have killed him. And the only reason they didn't kill him because that later the king was involved. So I can see that too, Wizard. Wizard, I could see that. I could see where I'm out here with them boys. Boom, you tell me it's your wife. Boom, we kill you. But then once we take her to the king and we have visions, don't mess with her. Now the king is involved, so I can't do nothing. I can't do nothing but what the king tell me now. So if the king say let him go, I gotta let him go. So Wizard, you might be right. The men might have just did him dirty. So he might have just lived because the king was involved. So you're probably right, Wizard. Wizard, you're probably right when I think about it. That answers the question. If the king got involved, that's why they didn't go ahead and do it. And with the dream and the vision, they was probably spooked. Wasn't no dream and no vision at first, Wizard, so they might have knocked his noodles out. Hey, Wizard, they might have did him dirty. You're right. They might have. If the king wasn't involved and he went out there and said, this is my wife, they might have did him and did something to her and did her too, because it was probably wild out there in them deserts. It was Isaac that was told he should have just told the truth. Okay. That was Isaac. Okay. That's why I'm getting the stories mixed up, because I'm talking about the wrong story talking about Abraham. I'm talking about Isaac. And was Isaac with the Egyptians too? What group that was Isaac was dealing with? I'm getting the stories mixed up. It's about a birth line. Okay. Uh, Baby Lane. Okay. Let me see. Who was going to take Isaac wife? Mm, who was that? I can't find it. The Philistines. It's Philistines. So this ain't. It was the Philistines. It was the Philistines. It wasn't the Egyptians. Okay. The Philistines were in a position to take Isaac's wife because Isaac, out of fear for his life, had lied to them, said she was his sister. King Abimelech of the Philistines, however, discovered the deception when he saw Isaac affectionately caressing her. Then issued a warning to all his people, forbidding them to harm Isaac or his wife, thus preventing them from taking Rebekah. Abimelech rebuked Isaac for his deception and issued a decree that no one was to harm or touch Isaac or his wife on penalty of death. This saved Rebekah from being taken by the Philistines. Yeah, he told them, why you lie? So I ain't gonna lie, Wizard. They still might have knocked him off. You ain't lying. Hey, Wizard. Hey, Wizard. They still, ah, hey, Wizard. That don't prove, you know, you got a point. They you got a point. If he would have told them that up straight up front, they still might have, they might have did him. I ain't gonna lie. That don't prove they wouldn't have did him if he told her. That don't prove that. You might be right, Wizard. That do not prove they would have left him alone. Yeah, the comments about another man taking another man's wife was the crime. But they was so crooked, Wizard, they might have still, you got a point. I can't say they wouldn't have heard him if he said it was my wife. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Wizard, they might have heard him because they just made up rules as they go. It was all up to the king. If the king say yeah, then it's yeah. If the king say no, it's no. So you might be right, Wizard. He might not have been safe. Maybe he said the right thing to say both for their life when you think about it. Something about him told him, no, don't tell him. Some, hey, Wizard, some told him to say that it worked out. If he would have said the other answer, in all fairness, Wizard, we don't know how that would have went. I seen the movie Taken, but that ain't got nothing to do with way ancient back like that. You talking about when they took dude's daughter. You talk about taking when they took dude's daughter. Yeah, that movie don't got nothing to do with this. I seen Taken ain't got nothing to do with way back in ancient Israel. All right, y'all, that's it. It was a great conversation. Y'all stay positive. You know what I'm saying? And don't let the bottom, the moral of the story, though, is don't let politics affect you. Keep your head on straight. Don't get emotional over politics. Try to stay out of it as much as you can. Don't put yourself in no political danger. And just let this whole situation play out with Trump. And just be prepared in case he gets sick and pass away. Because it might get crazy. You know what I'm saying? Victory.